And so I feel like the 60th District Court in Muskegon County should be investigated by the director of the FBI. And I'm contacting the NAACP, the ACLU, Affirmative Action, Nation of Islam, Moorish Science Temple of America, and several other groups who are well-rounded in civil rights matters. And I'm contacting them on the basis that a 60th District Court judge should know what the situation is with somebody when they're in their courtroom. And the fact that I was unlawfully and illegally committed after being stalked and harassed by people who lived in my neighborhood and throughout Muskegon County, and the individuals responsible for this know that this was happening to me and they allowed it to happen, and my reputation was ruined, and I've never been diagnosed with any sort of disorder or anything up until the time till after I was arrested for a crime I didn't commit, and I was being harassed and framed. You're talking about somebody who went out to eat and actually had drugs put in their food. You're talking about somebody who was getting death threats and having people follow them around 24/7 in their neighborhood with lights on their car in broad daylight, noise campaigns. You're talking about somebody who was being severely harassed. So my situation never had anything to do with any sort of mental or psychological protocol, like this is a mental issue. This had something to do with a criminal issue, that the community was allowed to do this to me and never explained to me what was going on, and never really explained to the public what was going on. Then I end up in jail for a crime I didn't even commit, and I'm in the newspapers, and there's some guy I don't even know in England in my goddamn newspaper sitting there saying I'm a nutcase. And you see what I'm saying? So, the federal government is going to have to make an example out of this situation, because it's not lawful what they did to me. And I want the U.S. Marshals or the director of the FBI to get involved with that community health center to work with the NAACP and find out what is in those files. Who are all these doctors involved? What were these people doing? Because this is a criminal act that happened. And after I was framed, I was on probation. And then when my probation became over, Judge Raymond J. Castrava started calling the community health center to my house after I was on probation. And then when my probation was terminated, Judge Raymond J. Castrava called the community mental health people to my house with a police officer. This is back in 2018. A police officer and a community mental health worker showed up at my home after I was off probation from Judge Castrava. So, the director of the FBI needs to figure out what was Judge Castrava up to? What was his court trial about? Who were these people following me around? Why were people allowed to lie, blatantly lie, and get away with it? What is all that about? What I want to know. Why? Why am I in the newspaper for a crime I didn't commit? And all the facts are backwards. The prosecutor, Timothy Matt, was never in the courtroom. I was charged with a misdemeanor. My trial was a misdemeanor in the 60th District Court. Why is the circuit court prosecutor in my article? And they're saying it's a younger female. Then the police report's a 29-year-old woman I don't even know. I never lived in my neighborhood. Then I sent the flowers to a 21-year-old woman. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And for the resources of the community to be abused to try to harm somebody, like you got to look at it from my point of view. If I interact with a police officer, I interact with a doctor, what the fuck, like you got to look at it from my point of view. I'm looking at these people as automatically being suspects to a crime. I've had numerous crimes committed against me, and my name has been exploited. And I'm in the newspaper for a crime I did not commit. Why am I being punished for a crime I did not commit? It doesn't make any sense. That courtroom, that was a fixed trial, a show trial in the 6th District Court. And they need to find out what was going on at that hospital, what was going on in that mental institution. How does a man show up at a hospital after being followed by 37 miles and harassed after he was in his house for a month being sent death threats and harassed? Like, how is all this possible? And he shows up at the hospital and gets committed against his will into a mental institution, and then the people in the mental institution are sitting there following him around. The workers in the mental institution are involved in it. How can the director of the FBI not get involved and figure out what's going on? Like, who are these people? Why do these people have the authority to do something like that? How is this legal? Why are my civil rights violated and my constitutional rights violated, and nobody and everybody's just sitting there pretending like, no matter how many times I explain this 50,000 times to people, it's like the people are so stupid, it's like they don't even know, like it's like they hear what I'm saying, but their minds can't comprehend the information. And it's all in black and white. The trial's in black and white. All information's there. And the people are so stupid, they don't know what they're hearing.